Good morning. Good morning, New Orleans. How are we feeling today? Happy Sunday. Thank you. Thank you. I hope everyone is in good energy today. We have a schedule of so many dope panels for you guys. If y'all could please come join us to the stage. Come on, y'all. Y'all could all sit down. There's so many seats for everyone. I don't know about you guys, but I thoroughly enjoyed the show last night. And my energy today is whatever Babyface was on. The way he was running back and forth on stage, that's how I want to be today. So our first panel for the day is called Behind the Brand. And we're going to do a deep dive into beauty entrepreneurship. Oh wait, before we start, did not introduce myself. My name is Daisy, and I have the pleasure of being your host today. So again, we're going to do a deep dive into beauty entrepreneurship. We have our Essence Beauty editor, Akila King, and our panelists, Abina, Javon, and Irene. So please give them a round of applause. Come on, let's show the ladies some love. Let's show the ladies some love.
Hello, hello, Essence Festival, day 3. How are we? Amazing, not too tired after all the concerts and everything, all the things. Hey, all. Thanks for being here. I'm so excited to be here. So, as mentioned, I'm Akili King, Senior Beauty Editor for Essence Magazine. And I'm just so excited to be here today for Behind the Brand. This panel is going to be phenomenal. I already know. We have some incredible founders here Abhinav, Hannahanna Beauty. We have Javon of Nail Bed and Bar, and Irene of Good Good Shay. Wow. Everyone's looking hydrated, glowing, not exhausted. Love to see it. We'll get into those secrets soon. But to kick off, I would love for each of you to tell us just a little bit about what inspired you to get into your career as brand founders, beauty brand founders specifically, starting with Abana. You have a background in therapy and teaching. Tell us about the pivot from that work to the work you do now?
Of course, of course. Hi, everyone. So for me, I was a seventh grade math teacher, which is very much not in the beauty space. But living in Chicago, I'm Ghanaian. And so being a seventh grade math teacher, you can't show up being ashy. You got to be moisturized. You know what I mean? And I was really in the time when I started, it was 2017, but I started making products around 2014 just for myself and for my friends and family. And then I would always say curiosity really got the part of me. Being Ghanaian, really having an understanding around who was making the raw materials. And so when I started Hannahanna, I wanted to be very intentional about how we approach sustainability. And that's why, till this day, 9 years later, we work directly with shea butter cooperatives in Ghana, sourcing, paying 2 times the asking price, and also creating access for healthcare. But at the end of the day, too, I'm still not ashy, and anyone that actually uses the product, they're not too. So that was really the approach around it, was just curiosity around how can I create products that are good from the sourcing all the way to actually for the ingredients and for our body.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. I love that. I love that. And Irene, similarly, you come from an education background as well, which is amazing. So talk to us as well about your pivot from that work to Good Good Shay.
So for me, during COVID, I had just a hard time finding shea butter because my mom would always go back to Ghana, and of course, nobody was really traveling. So looking for it locally and not just seeing the smell, looking at it, just not knowing that it was traditional that I was kind of used to. So I decided to basically start the line in memory of my mom. My mom actually passed away during COVID, and through healing and making different shea products, I decided that, you know what, when it was time, I'm going to go back to Ghana. I'm actually going to go to the cooperatives, to go to the farm and find the raw shea butter, import it, and make products. in her memory. So we are that good Shay by Auntie Ya. In terms of my education background, I'm used to educating, obviously, sparking curiosity, having conversations, and ensuring that people are equipped with the knowledge that they need to basically start businesses or even start a project. So that education background in terms of working in the back end, understand the plan and execute, that's what I kind of did when I was starting my own business.
Yes, wonderful. Yes, and Javon, tell us about your sort of story and journey into nail care and what inspired you to launch your nail bed and bar.
So, Abstract Nails was actually born from Nail Bed and Bar. Nail Bed and Bar has been a in-demand nail art niche studio in Washington D.C. since 2024, and with everyone that couldn't get to the salon, especially during the pandemic, they still wanted to have something that was representative of their style, their personal style, something that was reflective, and also still felt good. So when we launched Abstract Nail Art Press-Ons, it was an answer to those that needed nail art, who still appreciated nail art. But the salon definitely helped to foster that, to bring it to life.
Yes, absolutely. I love to hear it. And then going back to the educators in the room, like I'm curious how your background in education sort of informs how you approach teaching your customers and consumers about self-care, about body care. Do you feel like that plays a role in like your messaging?
Yeah, I feel like for me in education, you always want to make things feel exciting and you're learning something new. So, utilizing social and creating a level of transparency. I feel like when we started, people didn't really see how Shay was being made. They didn't know the women behind the brand. They also didn't even, they see me in the kitchen all the way to the cooperatives, to building a big team, to all these different places. And so I think there's this aspect of transparency and strategic creativity with it, right? Like we recently just launched a new product with our glow minis, and we really take our time on how we do launches. That it's not just about it looks good, but it's speaking to the customer so they see themselves in it and have that understanding of how to utilize the product. So I think just strategic creativity is so important and really understanding your customer. We survey our customers at all times, so we're making sure that we're launching things that they want to have.
Yes, I love that. And what about you, Irene?
I was going to say that obviously I'm an English teacher, and as an English teacher, your job is to always communicate. So for me, communicating the benefits of shea butter, the uses of shea butter, talking about the experience, how to apply. When you're building community, you want to make sure that people are equipped with the knowledge that they need to use the products. And also, like Abna had mentioned, improvement is important. So getting that customer feedback directly while having conversations with people allows you to continue to improve your product line, continue to improve upon, what the customers actually want. So I think my knowledge of just always communicating through writing, through oral communication, and obviously just through listening, that's so important to make sure that you have the knowledge so you can continue to work hard to build a business that is rooted in building the community.
Yes, amazing. And Javon, I feel like the nail industry, in terms of ingredients, it's not necessarily known for the healthiest ingredients, but I feel like you pride or your brand is built on clean ingredients, which is amazing. And just tell us a little bit about why that was important to you to do.
Well, I'll say I always, when I created Nail Bed and Bar, it was definitely supposed to be eco-friendly. Not supposed to be, but is eco-friendly, very clean product line, and that also transitioned into clean products for Abstract's nail art press-ons. And so it's very important because we don't always think about what some of the damaging products or ingredients are in nail products. And so that was always at the forefront of my mind. When you walk into my salon in particular, you don't smell the smells that you would in a traditional nail salon because we don't use those products. Um, and I also wanted to have an educational component to that nail care experience because I want women and people that love nail care to understand that you don't have to have the damaging ingredients to still get the look. And so you can still have beautiful, healthy nails and not have to inhale the chemicals, wear the chemicals, because those things over time impact your body, impact your health. I know the latest trend was the TPO and some of the gel products. Well, that does have a lasting impact to women with fertility. I've never used products that had TPO because that was always at the forefront of my mind that, sure, we're going to service all walks of women. And we know that Black women, African American women, we are always prone to things out more than the average, right? So we have higher levels of exposure of other things than other cultures. So it is definitely within my brand and everything that we do to protect Black women, especially those of us that love a beauty service like nails.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful. Amazing work. And Abana, your brand is heavily rooted in your Ghanaian background, which is so beautiful. And you travel a lot back and forth. Tell me about that balance, why it's important to go back home for you. And, you have your local team there. And also a little bit about like ethically sourcing your shea butter back home as well.
Yeah, no, I love that. So when I launched, I was in grad school, y'all. So I was finishing my master's in counseling psych. And when I graduated, I remember telling my mom, I was like, I'm gonna go to Ghana and I'll study for my license and I'll come back. Girl, I didn't study for that license. I literally went and I moved back to Ghana because as a teacher living in Chicago, it's all about if I'm gonna teach in a certain neighborhood, I should be near that neighborhood. So if I'm gonna create impact or wanna have an understanding about a neighborhood, I should live there. Even though I'm Ghanaian, I never traveled to the north. I wasn't living in the north. So that's what I did. So I took 2 years of really focusing and living there and understanding the culture. That's how we've been able to build the circle of care, which is how we do our healthcare days, all of that. And for us, it's all about accessibility. I have the understanding that Hannahanna would not be where it's out without our cooperatives, right? So it's important that they give us access, we also give them access. And so I feel like during that time, I really focused more on impact. However, 2020 hit and I had to come back. I got stuck in the States. And so we kept it within our vision, but also really focus on strategic growth. And so it just continues a back and forth. I was just in Ghana in April. I love going, like, I try to go twice a year and stay there at least up to like 2 months or so to really be within the community and have an understanding of what's going on. And also, we want to grow there too. So, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Beautiful. And Irene, similarly, your brand is also rooted in your Ghanaian background. Tell me a bit about why it's important for you to champion your roots in your brand and also as you scale up, keeping that integrity intact.
So important to obviously focus on my heritage because growing up with my mom, my aunties, just seeing how they had all of their beauty traditions. Shea butter, of course, was something that was always there. I had really bad eczema, so I always used it. So seeing the benefits of me using shea butter and knowing that it's been used for centuries, that was so important for me to be able to go back to Ghana, go to the northern part of Ghana where I'm not from, and actually see the traditions like in work, seeing them actually doing the work, making the shea butter from the nut to the butter to like all the different processes they have to go through to actually make it. So that's so important for me to showcase that to people so they know that this is an authentic product and it's in use and we're using it in our formulations. We use it in our butters and our lotions and our body wash. So them knowing that where it comes from and it's focused on our Ghanaian beauty traditions.
Absolutely. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then Javon, I feel like, well, all of you really, but I'll direct this towards Javon. I feel like culture is at the center of what you do, and it's not just a marketing, term or jargon that you throw out there. Why is that important for that to be really what's driving you and what your brand is rooted in as well?
So I've been in the beauty industry for, I'm still 21, but I've been in the beauty industry for more than 20 years now. And one thing that was very important was to understand how Black women shift the culture. We are the trendsetters. And not only are we the trendsetters with what we do, what we look like, what we wear, but definitely our hair, our nails, our skincare routines, all of those things are trend setting. So we really shift the culture in that way. So it was also important for me to utilize what I was creating at my salon, and because we have been doing nails or wearing, lots of designs on our nails for many, many years. And so it was important for me to amplify that how we impact the nail environment or the nail industry. Um, and so making sure that with every collection that I drop is an ode to the culture. We are over in BeautyCon, and every nail set is basically created on a real woman. So we create it on nails, and then we mass produce that for the masses. So it's transferred from wearable art that we create in our salon to a nail product.
Incredible, amazing. I'll have to stop by the booth for sure and check it
Yes,
out.
we're right there.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. And then similarly, Abana, I feel like your brand is so rooted in community. I know we throw that word around a lot these days, but truly I feel like your brand is so rooted in that. And even I've been to many of your events. We did ice cold plunges the other day, and
Yes.
like that event helped me get over that fear and just, I don't know. I want you to talk about, you know, why that's at the center of your brand, what that means to you, and where that comes from for you as well.
Yeah, I mean, in general, beauty wellness is next to next, right? And so we always talk about like skincare is self care and building community around that. As much as it is strategic, it's also just what makes sense, even just rooted within culture of things. When we talk about community, it's not just influencers, it's the people that actually are sustaining our brand. That's within it. When we talk about sustainability, we say, like, we're not just thinking about environmental sustainability, we're really thinking about community. We know that people are spending their dollars, and even if they're not, we want them to get access to what we're building. And so I really try to think about it in a most parallel experience of like, what would our customer want? How can I create this opportunity for you to experience it? I always say I feel like my purpose is being able to create experiences where people can learn about themselves in some type of way, right? So from a teacher, it was math. From a therapist, it was themselves. Within beauty, it's also about their skin, their experience, and what they should receive. So that's something that we try to do in every community event so that you feel like it's a really luxurious experience.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. The storytelling is on point for sure.
Yeah.
And then I would love for each of you to get into maybe something about being an entrepreneur, a founder that you feel is misunderstood, or maybe something you didn't even expect along the way that you had to overcome and deal with. Would love to start with Irene.
So I think that there's sometimes a perception that when you have a brand that you're a team of people can answer emails on the fly because they're coming in at 1 a.m. and you have someone there to just click and answer it right away. But for most of our founders that are here, a lot of times we're solo founders. We're doing a lot of things. We're wearing a lot of hats. We're doing marketing. We're doing the Instagrams, TikToks. We're answering the emails. We're working with you know formulators, buyers, whoever it might be. So we're wearing a lot of hats a lot of times, and people don't realize that the team might just be one or two. And it might be the interns for the summer or someone that's assisting, helping you. And it's not this, fan favorite people that can just, answer all the emails and decide all the decisions. The decision maker just might be one person. So there's a myth sometimes that, there's this whole machine happening when it's really just one person doing it all. And obviously it requires a lot of patience, hard work, but also you have to be in a state where you can be open to ideas and really be okay hearing no's and being okay not knowing everything and going to the people that can actually assist and help you. So I think that's a myth that the founders a lot of times have this big machine behind them and they really don't.
Absolutely. That's so real. And then Javon?
So for me, one thing that I have tried to communicate and also convey in my messaging is that this brand represents every woman. When I start, or when you're a founder of a product, they always say know your customer. But then you come to a space like Essence Fest, and I see all my customers sitting, and we all have different walks of lives. We all wear our hair different. We all wear our nails different. So trying to make sure that I have something for everybody has been the most challenging, but it's also rewarding because it's just a reminder of how amazing and brilliant we are, and that we can have a product that is suitable for us in every way. So sure, we have long, we got short, we got red, we got black, we got blue. We have a lot of design, a little design. So understanding who my customer is has been a challenge because that's ever evolving, because the black woman is ever evolving.
Exactly, exactly. I love that. Something for everyone as well. Absolutely. Abana?
I would say, I think a perception about entrepreneurship that has definitely shifted for me more so is around releasing control. Um, I've been in the business now for 9 years. I always say like the first 4 years versus the last 5 years has been different. And I think it's really been this accepting and understanding of like my faith and really being able to have that backing. I'm like, I didn't create this world, God did. I didn't even create myself, so I should probably release that. And I think it's just so important to have a better, like, just something above you. For me, it's through Christ, but I think everyone should have faith outside of themselves to really do it. Because, like, entrepreneurships, it's ups and downs, like there's no level of true consistency, right? And so you really need to be able to be present and enjoy it. And I think it really takes something outside of yourself for that. Because I think a lot of times it feels like it's all on you, and it really isn't. It's also just a job. Let's be for real.
Yes.
You are building something, but it's a job, as much as it is your livelihood and different things. But so you have to really experience everything outside of it too.
Absolutely. No. And I think that's a beautiful mic drop moment to leave off on. Thank you, ladies, for your wisdom, your time, vulnerably sharing your stories. Yes, clap it up for these ladies. So inspiring. Thank you for being here and just sharing everything with us today. And thank you all as well for coming through. Yes. Love to see it. Keep enjoying Essence Fest, and we'll talk to you soon.